You watch your cat sleep and you think to yourself, that's the life. 16 hours a day, maybe 18. Just pure rest. No stress, no responsibilities. Complete bliss. But what if I told you that the way your cat is sleeping right now, that specific position on their side, that particular corner they choose every single day, could actually be telling you something critical about their health? Something that most cat owners completely miss. Something that vets see walking through the clinic door every single week. The thing about cats is this: they don't give you a warning bell. They don't come up and meow and tell you something is wrong inside their body. Instead, they hide it. They mask it. Because in the wild, showing weakness is the same as signing a death certificate. So what they do instead, what millions of years of evolution has taught them, is to show you in the small things, in how they move, in where they rest, in the position they choose when they think nobody is watching. And if you know what to look for, your cat is actually screaming for help in a language you can read right now, today, in your own home. Most cat owners think sleep is just sleep. A tired cat is a healthy cat. A sleeping cat is a content cat. End of story. But that is dangerously wrong. The position your cat sleeps in, the frequency, the place they choose, the way their body curves or straightens, these are not random. They are direct communications from inside their body. And right now, if your cat is sleeping in one of these 5 positions, there is something you need to know, something you need to watch for, something you need to act on before it becomes a crisis. The first position that should make you stop and pay attention: your cat sleeping completely flattened out on their belly. Not just resting, not just taking a quick nap, but stretched out full length, sometimes with their back legs extended, sometimes with their front legs reaching forward like they are trying to escape into the ground beneath them. You might think this is just them being hot, just them trying to cool down. And sometimes, yes, that is exactly what it is. But there is a much darker reason why cats do this, and it is something called pain avoidance through pressure distribution. Here is the science that vets know but rarely explain in plain language. When a cat is experiencing internal pain, chronic pain that they are trying to hide, spreading their body weight across the maximum possible surface area actually reduces the pressure on the painful area. It is like how humans unconsciously shift their weight away from an injured leg. Your cat does this with their entire body. A cat flattened out on their belly, day after day, especially if this is a new behavior, could be signaling anything from digestive issues to early liver disease to pancreatitis. The danger is this: by the time the flattening becomes constant, by the time you really start noticing the position has shifted, significant damage may have already been done internally. Pancreatic inflammation in cats can develop silently for months. Liver dysfunction sends no obvious signals until the organ is working at a fraction of its capacity. And a flattened posture is one of the first signs that something is terribly wrong in the abdominal cavity. What you need to do right now is start tracking, not just glancing at your cat, but actually observing. How often is this position being used? Is this new behavior or long-standing? Are there other changes accompanying it? Has your cat's appetite shifted? Is the litter box behavior different? More litter box visits, fewer visits, changes in what you are seeing in the box. Once you notice the flattening combined with any appetite change or litter box change, that is not a wait-and-see situation. That is a call your vet situation. The second position: your cat sleeping in a tight, curled ball tucked into the smallest possible space. Now this one is tricky because cats normally curl up when they are cold, when they are comfortable, when they are in complete relaxation. All of those things are true sometimes. But here is what separates normal curling from a warning sign. Normal curling is flexible. Your cat can unfold easily. They transition in and out of it. The curling that signals illness is rigid. It is desperate. Your cat stays in that ball position for hours upon hours, barely moving, and when they do move, the movement is slow, cautious, like every shift is causing them discomfort. This position, this specific tension-filled curling, is what pain specialists in veterinary medicine call the guarding position. It is not comfort. It is a defense mechanism. When cats are in pain, genuine pain, they curl to stabilize their body, to reduce movement of the painful area, to make themselves smaller, less noticeable, less vulnerable. A cat in the guarding position is a cat screaming silently. The conditions that produce this are serious. Urinary blockages in male cats, which can become life-threatening within hours. Intestinal blockages from ingested objects. Inflammatory bowel disease. Kidney disease in its advanced stages. These are not wait-and-see problems. These are get-to-a-vet-today problems. But here is the trap that catches most owners. The curled, balled-up position looks peaceful. It looks restful. Many owners see it and think, my cat is just sleeping deeply. Meanwhile, inside the body, something could be escalating toward an emergency. If you see this rigid, desperate curling combined with any reluctance to eat, any hiding behavior intensifying, or any decrease in normal activity, do not wait for more symptoms. Do not tell yourself it will probably pass. The time window for intervention on some of these conditions is measured in hours, not days. The third position that demands immediate attention. Your cat sleeping with their head tilted at an odd angle, almost like their neck is bent in a way that looks uncomfortable. Or your cat sleeping with their head pressed firmly against a hard surface like a wall or the corner of a piece of furniture. Repeated, constant head pressing. This is called feline head pressing, and it is one of the most underestimated warning signs in cat health. When a cat presses their head against surfaces repeatedly, when they tilt their head in uncomfortable positions during sleep, it is often signaling neurological disturbance, metabolic disorder, toxicity, even brain inflammation. A cat with a high ammonia level from liver dysfunction will head press. A cat with advanced kidney disease showing uremic toxins affecting the brain will head press. A cat with hypertension so high that their brain is receiving harmful pressure will tilt and press and push. This is not quirky behavior. This is not a harmless habit. This is a cat whose brain is registering something wrong, and pressing into hard surfaces is their way of trying to manage it. The damage associated with conditions severe enough to cause head pressing happens fast. Liver disease that has progressed far enough to cause neurological symptoms. Kidney failure showing neurological signs. These are advanced stages. The cat that is head pressing is already in trouble. The moment you see this behavior, the moment you notice your cat repeatedly pressing their head or holding their head at odd angles during sleep, write down the date, write down the frequency, and call your vet. Do not assume this is normal. Do not wait to see if it passes. Neurological signs mean the underlying condition has already crossed into serious territory. The fourth position. Your cat sleeping with their mouth slightly open, sometimes with their tongue barely visible, breathing more heavily than normal. You might assume this is just how they are resting. But heavy breathing during sleep, mouth breathing instead of nasal breathing, these are not normal rest behaviors. These are signs of respiratory compromise. Cats are obligate nasal breathers. That is how they are designed. When a cat shifts to mouth breathing during sleep, it is because something is blocking the nasal passages or because the lungs are struggling to get enough oxygen. Chronic respiratory infections that have not been properly treated, feline asthma that is worsening, early heart disease causing fluid accumulation in the lungs, tumors in the nasal passages or throat. These are the conditions that push a cat toward mouth breathing. The danger is escalation. A cat breathing through their mouth during sleep might seem like a minor issue, but respiratory compromise in cats has a steep decline curve. It gets worse slowly, then it gets worse very fast. A cat that is struggling to breathe at rest is a cat whose body is already stressed. Add any additional stress, any infection, any change in routine, and the respiratory system can decompensate rapidly. Additionally, heavy breathing during sleep often indicates that the cat is not actually getting proper sleep. They are in a state of partial arousal, struggling to maintain oxygen saturation. Over time, this constant low-level hypoxia is damaging to every organ system. The heart has to work harder. The kidneys have to process more stress hormones. The immune system is constantly activated. A cat with mouth-breathing sleep is a cat living under continuous physiological stress. If you notice this change in your cat, if the breathing becomes audible during rest, if you can see the mouth opening regularly, schedule a vet appointment and mention this specifically. Do not mention it as a minor thing. Respiratory changes are medical priorities. The fifth position that many people completely overlook. Your cat sleeping in significantly elevated locations they never used before. Or conversely, your cat sleeping in completely new locations, low spots, dark corners, places they normally would never choose. The dramatic shift in where your cat sleeps is actually a powerful diagnostic sign. Cats sleep in elevated locations when they feel the need for safety, for escape routes, for control over their territory. A cat that suddenly abandons elevated sleeping spots and moves to low, hidden areas is a cat that is no longer confident in their body. They are compromised. They are weak. They cannot handle the physical demand of climbing or maintaining elevated positions. This could indicate muscle weakness from kidney disease, neurological problems affecting coordination, advanced arthritis causing joint pain that makes jumping painful, even early stages of systemic illness that the cat is attempting to hide. Conversely, a cat that suddenly starts sleeping in elevated locations they never used before might be escaping something, escaping a painful position, escaping normal activity that has become uncomfortable, escaping the family dynamics that feel too demanding when the body is not functioning properly. The location shift is significant. Most cat owners do not track where their cat sleeps, but if you suddenly notice your cat has abandoned their favorite spot or adopted a completely new sleeping location, that is worth noting. Combine that observation with appetite changes, litter box changes, or energy level changes, and you are looking at a clear pattern of illness emerging. Now here is what matters most. Here is what separates owners who catch problems early from owners who arrive at the emergency clinic wishing they had paid attention. The position your cat sleeps in is only meaningful if you are actually paying attention. If you know what is normal for your cat and you notice when it changes. Most cat owners do not do this. They look at their cat sleeping, think it is adorable, take a picture for social media, and move on. They do not establish a baseline. They do not track patterns. They do not notice the shift from normal to concerning because normal is too vague. You need specificity. Starting today, start actually observing. How does your cat normally sleep? What is their preferred position? Where do they prefer to rest? How much time are they spending sleeping versus active? What is their breathing pattern like? Are there any vocalizations during sleep? Have any of these baseline behaviors shifted in the last week, month, year? Once you have that baseline, you will immediately notice when something changes, and that is when you move quickly. That is when a small observation becomes the difference between catching something early and arriving too late. The hard truth that vets deal with constantly is this: cats hide illness until they cannot hide it anymore. And by the time they cannot hide it, by the time the symptoms are obvious, significant damage has often already been done. The cat sleeping in an unusual position is showing you a message before the symptoms become undeniable. The position is the warning, the early sign, the chance to intervene before crisis. Your cat's kidneys could already be failing, their liver could be declining, a blockage could be developing, a tumor could be growing, and the only thing you have, the only information accessible to you right now, is watching how your cat sleeps. That position on your bed, that posture in the sunbeam, that location in the corner. None of it is random. All of it is communication. And now you know how to read it. Start watching, start noticing, start tracking, because the next time you see your cat sleeping in one of these positions, you will know exactly what question to ask your vet. You will have a real concern to bring forward instead of a vague feeling that something might be off. And that distinction, that specific observation instead of guesswork, could very well mean the difference between a healthy cat and a cat heading toward a serious crisis that could have been prevented. Your cat's health should not depend on luck. It should depend on what you actually notice, what you actually observe, what you choose to pay attention to. And now you have the information to do exactly that.